Hey everyone, this is MNL2, and today in this video I want to talk about something that has been circulating around the coaster community regarding Six Flags Magic Mountain. For about 2 years now, Six Flags Magic Mountain has basically been rumored and practically proven to be working on adding an RMC Raptor in the spot that Green Lantern First Flight was formerly located and where Tidal Wave is currently located. So first of all, I would like to mention that Six Flags Magic Mountain has never announced nor published any official information regarding the addition of this coaster. However, at this point in time, we basically have enough evidence to almost guarantee that Magic Mountain is receiving a Raptor. That being said, in this video, I'm going to explain my thoughts, predictions, and speculations regarding this potential new coaster coming soon. First of all, I would like to address the initial pieces of evidence that we have already received. About a year ago, documents containing the blueprints and approval of a coaster showing a layout almost exactly identical to that of Six Flags Great Adventure's Jersey Devil coaster were found online. A few months later, Rocky Mountain Construction teased on their various social media accounts images of unpainted Raptor track tagged with SFMM and DC, which potentially indicated Six Flags Magic Mountain and the DC universe of the park. Also, inside the actual park, there have been various markers around Green Lantern First Flight and Tidal Wave, which generally indicate that it is a site for future construction. Now, these are all pieces of evidence that have already been reviewed and discovered by plenty of people, but recently, we have even more evidence that can further back up the rumor that Six Flags Magic Mountain will be receiving this Raptor. Photographed by Reddit user Sparkin Ranger, it appears that 2 RMC Raptor trains have been brought to Six Flags Magic Mountain and are currently being stored behind the Riddler's Revenge. Although these containers are covered with black tarps, there is a small section in this particular photo that shows the wheel assemblies of one of the cars of the train. Judging by not only how long and skinny the containers are, but also how far apart the 2 visible wheel assemblies are from each other, we can pretty much verify that these are in fact Raptor trains. So, as I pointed out earlier, the supposed layout for this coaster pretty much exactly resembles the layout for Jersey Devil, with a few minor differences in the positioning of the station and the final brake run. That being said, it would be safe to assume that this coaster is a clone of Jersey Devil coaster. However, I've actually found a few rumors that I have seen made by about 3 or 4 people on Instagram that actually propose a valid point. This rumor is that Jersey Devil coaster is actually the clone, and Magic Mountain's Raptor is the original. Okay, this might sound completely absurd at first, however I myself have some theories that both support and reject this rumor. So first of all, the reason that Magic Mountain's Raptor could potentially be the original is because this coaster was meant to be announced in 2018 and open in 2019. Now you might be wondering, what about West Coast Racers? Well, according to West Coast Customs CEO Ryan Friedlinghause, West Coast Racers originally became an idea around 2012, 8 years ago from when West Coast Racers publicly opened. Take a look.
This was honestly just a dream of, hey, what if West Coast Customs came up with a roller coaster? What would it look like? So to rewind about 8 years, Sam Rhodes showed up at the shop. He's the head designer at Six Flags Corporate. And
could you imagine if we had the opportunity to design one of these? I mean, this is full throttle, so it's supposed to be like a car. Like, what if West Coast Customs had a roller coaster?
That'd be a different level.
I mean, I made you design some crazy things.
Yeah.
But a roller coaster would be pretty amazing.
That being said, West Coast Racers has actually been under development for an extremely long amount of time, so I believe that Six Flags themselves weren't actually sure when West Coast Racers would actually become a reality. But when it did eventually become a reality, it just so happened to be about the time that Magic Mountain would have finally replaced Green Lantern First Flight with the Raptor, which at that point, Green Lantern had been standing but not operating for over a year already. Now, taking a look at the layout itself, part of the rumor implies that this coaster was originally designed specifically for this land plot, which I actually find very plausible. If you take a look at the blueprints, not only is this coaster very tightly and neatly packed into this small area, but it also seems that it is very cleverly and uniquely designed to accommodate its surroundings. If the original was designed for Great Adventure, then it seems that it would be much more difficult to copy and paste that layout into this tight, unique space. There's also part of the ride that I want to focus on the most when it comes to design. Take a look at this turnaround that follows the mid-course brake run. As you can see here, this turnaround pretty much perfectly outlines an already existing planter near Riddler's Revenge. If this layout wasn't originally designed for this plot of land, then I would have a lot of trouble finding this to be a lucky coincidence. Not only that, but if you look at how it was designed around Tidal Wave, it seems that for the most part, this coaster does a pretty good job avoiding Tidal Wave, which could imply that the park is trying not to demolish Tidal Wave, but I will be talking about Tidal Wave specifically later in the video. But anyways, keep in mind that the rumor that Jersey Devil is actually the clone and Magic Mountain's Raptor is actually the original is simply just a theory, and there's no hard evidence that confirms it. Let's talk about theming now. In terms of a name or theme, I think it is safe to assume that no matter what, it will be themed to a DC character, as this ride is going to be located pretty much at the heart of DC Universe. As for which character, I'm still going with my first guess that I made back in February 2020, and that it will be themed to the Joker, considering that Magic Mountain is pretty much the only park in the chain that doesn't have a Joker-themed ride, and considering that Magic Mountain is the flagship park, it seems that this is the best opportunity Magic Mountain has to finally get a Joker-themed ride. Also, assuming this ride utilizes Green Lantern's indoor queue section, it seems that adding the typical Joker Funhouse queue will be extremely convenient and easy, since almost the entire bottom floor of the Green Lantern Station building was already used as a heavily themed queue. Another thing I want to address is capacity. Now, it seems that a lot of people are jumping to the conclusion that Magic Mountain is too big of a park to operate a lower capacity ride like an RMC Raptor. However, I have a few counters to that. First of all, I would like to point out that 4 12-car Raptor trains, like the ones to be used on Jersey Devil, would actually make its capacity pretty much identical to West Coast Racers' capacity. And I haven't really seen anyone complain about West Coast Racers' capacity. In fact, West Coast Racers' dispatch are actually some of the fastest in the park, making up for the 12 riders per train. Then, take a look at Sunday the Ride's capacity. Even though the ride duration is only 30 seconds, one track can only operate one train that seats only 14 people, and generally also has pretty slow dispatches. On top of that, Sunday the Ride only operates one track at a time nowadays. So, it seems that a Raptor wouldn't be a significantly lower capacity ride compared to some already existing rides at the park. Even the coaster it's replacing didn't have that high of a capacity. Another thing too is that keep in mind, Six Flags Magic Mountain has so many coasters, several of which are already extremely popular. Adding this Raptor isn't going to instantly make every person in the park go queue up for it forever. Sure, it will be popular and crowded for its first few months, maybe a year or two of operation, but eventually, its line won't be any worse than some of the other popular coasters in the park. If anything, adding another coaster will help with the crowd management, as it gives people more options to choose from, spreading out the crowd of people in the park more. So I really don't see this being an issue capacity-wise for the park. The final thing that I want to talk about is going to be Tidal Wave. Tidal Wave is the park's intimate shoot-the-chutes water ride, sitting in between the Metropolis area and the DC Universe. It seems that the general consensus is that Tidal Wave is going to be removed to make way for this Raptor, which I do see as a possibility. Even before the Raptor was starting to be developed, Tidal Wave just seemed like it was always closed. It hardly ever operated, and just spent more time being dried out and unused than actually open. And when it was open, it attracted very little people. I'm pretty sure the bridge over the splashdown was more popular than the actual ride. And I believe the reason for that is that this ride doesn't do a very good job of being a water ride. The other water rides in the park do a pretty good job at getting you wet. Jetstream will sprinkle you a little bit, and Roaring Rapids will completely soak you. Tidal Wave, on the other hand, will only provide a light drizzle unless you are sitting in the back row on the edge seats. On top of that, it is a very expensive ride to operate, with the amount of water it continuously has to pump. Even further, there was recently some construction, or I guess deconstruction, of part of the roof on Tidal Wave, which I initially thought was so that a support column for the Raptor could slip through Tidal Wave's roof, but upon looking at the blueprints again, I realized that Tidal Wave's station is nowhere near any of the Raptor's potential supports. So though it is likely this ride can be completely scrapped, I don't find it completely guaranteed. As I mentioned earlier, it seems that the Raptor has been designed to mostly avoid Tidal Wave, and it doesn't seem like Tidal Wave is too much in the way. There are a few supports that would either have to be modified or slightly repositioned in order to avoid touching Tidal Wave. Not only that, but if you look at the blueprints, Tidal Wave's layout is still there and acknowledged. If Six Flags were certain that Tidal Wave would just be removed, then it seems that they wouldn't have included Tidal Wave's layout in the blueprints. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully Magic Mountain will soon be making more progress on the site for the almost confirmed future Raptor. Let me know what your thoughts and speculations are regarding this project down in the comments. Stay tuned for more updates, and I'll see you guys in the next video.